Today we're going to be talking about heart rate monitors. I just finished working out not too long ago, and I don't have a heart rate monitor. I don't tend to wear one very often because I do a lot of lifting. When you're in a cardio workout, it's typically going to show you a higher burn during the workout than a weightlifting workout would. And that's because with cardio, what you see is what you get as far as the burn. So the burn that you see, like immediately when you stop exercising, that's it. With lifting, there is an afterburn that you're not going to see on the heart rate monitor right away. So it's going to show a lower burn like during your exercise and right after, but you're typically burning calories all day long because of that workout. So that afterburn is not shown on your heart rate monitor right away. So a lot of people they get frustrated, especially if you're used to doing cardio workouts, you're used to burning a specific amount of calories, and then maybe you switch to lifting because you hear that it's good for you, it's gonna help you get toned, it's gonna help you to increase your metabolism and build muscle. And so they start doing those workouts, but then it's disappointing when you see the burn. So if you're used to burning like 600 calories and then suddenly your heart rate monitor is telling you that you're only burning like 100, 150, like that's kind of disappointing because you're like, well, now I have to either do longer workouts, or I need to, you're going to lean towards maybe like circuits or something like that, like things that are going to show you the numbers. So I just really want to warn you against chasing the numbers because it's not always so like clear cut like that. So like I say, with cardio, what you see is what you get. With lifting and also with exercises like a HIIT type cardio, same thing. It may show less of a burn up front because with something like HIIT, you're going to be burning more after the workout. So it's really, it's confusing at first, but when you understand that, you know that you're still really getting this benefit. Not to mention that if you're doing workouts that incorporate weightlifting, then you're building muscle. And when you're building muscle burns more calories all day long. So you want to build muscle because you're just going to be burning calories when you're just sitting on the couch later that day, and even on your days off because of the muscle that you're building. So it's really, it's hard because we want something to show us how good we're doing. And with the heart rate monitor, like I say, we tend to start chasing that number. And when you're doing cardio, the number can kind of help you because of the fact that you'll know when your body is adapting to the cardio workouts, because a lot of times we talk about that, how when you're doing cardio only, after a while your body adapts and it's not changing anymore. So your heart rate monitor can help you with that because you'll start to notice, okay, I'm doing the same amount of work, but I'm burning less calories. So it lets you know that your body has adapted to that cardio workout. But because you're not always going to see that with lifting, you can't compare your cardio burns to your lifting burns. They're apples and bananas, and one doesn't necessarily mean that the other one is not working anymore. So very, very key when you're lifting is to still challenge yourself. Don't only look at the burns, because some type of lifting workouts even will show higher lifting burns than others. So like I said, with circuit training, or if you're doing a lot of like supersets, or maybe if you're doing a full body workout where you're doing an upper body exercise and then a lower body exercise, the lower body exercise is going to get your heart rate up a little bit more, so it's going to show a bigger burn on your heart rate monitor. So you have to keep those things in mind. And again, that doesn't necessarily mean, as far as categorizing it, that one is better than the other, because sometimes you do need to do lifting type workouts where you have to have rest periods between, so you're not going to always be able to superset, because you need that variety and for your body to keep adapting. So you want to be able to have some phases where, sure, your rest periods are lower. So if you have like 30-second rest periods, those days are going to show higher burns because of the fact that you're kind of going non-stop. So if you have 30 seconds or less, the burn may show higher. If you have like 60 seconds rest, then it may show a lower burn, but that means that you're in more of a muscle building type workout. So even though the burn shows lower, you're building muscle, which means you're gonna burn more calories, period. Just as a human being, you're just gonna burn more calories. So I hope that helps. The only reason I bring that up is because, like I say, I know for those of us who've always depended on our heart rate monitors, if we're really used to cardio, then it's confusing, and it may make you want to kind of set the weightlifting aside because you're like, this is not even as impactful as my cardio. But it is. It's so much more impactful, and you don't want to get caught up in chasing something that's actually taking you further away from your goals. So one of the things that I always like to say is cardio for fun and weights to transform, because the weights is what's going to totally transform your body. It's going to help you to build muscle so that you can tone up, because you can't tone what isn't there. So you have to have the muscle there in order to tone it. And it's going to help you to just become a calorie burning machine. You're gonna burn calories all the time. If you're the type of person that does like it anyways, you just kind of like to get a general idea, you can still wear them, or maybe wear them for your cardio, but just kind of know to take it all with a grain of salt when it comes to your lifting. I don't want you guys to get led astray by super huge burns, or by thinking that only one type of exercise is going to help you burn the fat. You need multiple types of exercise, and even though it's harder to tell with your heart rate monitor, if you like striving for numbers when you're lifting, strive for numbers like being able to eke out an extra rep, or being able to put another plate on the bar, things like that. So when it comes to your lifting, you need to kind of turn your focus and strive for something completely different, because it's about the equivalent of trying to nail down your scale weight when you're lifting. Because as we've talked about in previous scopes, you know, your scale weight is gonna fluctuate because of the fact that you're lifting, and then there's a little bit of water retention, and as you're building muscles. So just the way the scale is finicky, know that your heart rate monitor is gonna be skimpy as well.